So since my recent King of the Hill revival video, there actually have been some major leaks, including full storyboards for entire scenes of new episodes. We've also got some additional casting rumors and some additional casting confirmations that have seemed to have flown mostly under the radar for a while. These pieces of casting and storyboard leaks actually answer a lot of questions about the show and about the revival, so let's dive into them. First, I'm going to talk cast before we get into the actual spoiler territory for the storyboards. Okay, first off, the biggest piece of confirmation that we got is that Ronnie Chang will be the new voice of Khan. He is a comedian. He's also a correspondent on The Daily Show, and he actually just fully revealed this information on a podcast months ago. It's a podcast called You Be Trippin' with Ari Schaffer. Here's the clip of that.
But like,
I'm in the new season.
No.
Yeah, of King of the Hill, yeah.
Dude.
I'm the... Oh, thanks, yeah.
What
I'm
a
the
cool
new,
thing to be part of.
I'm the new voice of Khan. Yeah.
What happened to Old Khan?
He was he was
voiced
not
his opinion
Asian.
on Twitter?
He wasn't an Asian guy.
Ronnie Chang is very funny. He's a good performer. I think he could do the voice very well. I'm very eager to see how he does. He also confirmed that the reason for the recast was because Toby Hus is not Asian. Speaking of Toby Hus, this next piece of casting is crazy and honestly pretty cool. So since Toby Hus played Cotton and Khan, and now he's not Khan anymore, Cotton died in the last show, who is he going to play in this show? He's going to be at the ATX Festival coming up, seemingly as a main character. Yeah, he's playing Dale. So Johnny Hardwick unfortunately passed after recording a few episodes of the revival, and now they are putting Toby Hus in the Johnny Hardwick role as Dale Gribble, which I think is kind of the coolest recast they could have done. Toby Hus was like an inextricably important part of the cast in the original show, and so now that he isn't playing those characters, moving him into an equally important character role, kind of awesome. And I think it's a move that's going to mostly win people over, probably depending on how well he performs in that role. But he's such a good voice actor. I have no doubt that he can do this role well. I'm pretty excited to see it. We do not have confirmation for this yet, but I have heard a lot of rumors that Grey Delisle's character will be Gracie, Lucky and Luann's daughter. Now, we don't know this for sure. We do know Grey Delisle is in the cast. She's the one who leaked those pictures of Bobby from the cast party. She got in a lot of trouble for that, but she's an incredible voice actress. It would totally make sense for her to play Gracie. I actually speculated that she might be playing Gracie back when it was first revealed she'd be in the cast, which was revealed because of her leaked images on Instagram. Another actor I want to talk about is Jonathan Joss. Jonathan Joss went on a pretty upset rant on Facebook after they announced the ATX King of the Hill panel because he was not invited. Now, a lot of people took this as meaning that Jonathan Joss is not in the King of the Hill revival, and I do not think this is the case at all. He didn't say anything about not being in the cast at all in his upset Facebook rant. He mostly just talked about being upset that he wasn't invited to the panel. And I do understand why he's upset. I understand this is a huge part of his show. It's probably the biggest thing in his life and career. And obviously he wants to be there. I will say the cast that is at the ATX panel is not the whole cast. It's just a few people. The panel is Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, Saladin K. Patterson, Toby Hus, Lauren Tom, and is that it? That might be it. Oh, Pamela Adlin, of course. So it's only 4 cast members. Kathy Najimy isn't there. Stephen Root isn't there. Other main huge character actors are not there. So I'm sorry for Jonathan Joss for being upset for not being invited to this thing. It sucks, but it's not like he was the only one who wasn't extended the invite or isn't going to be there. It's a pretty small panel. I also think the fact that Toby Hus is playing Dale now explains why he's going to be one of the actors at this panel. They're going to reveal this information officially and publicly, and also he's basically a main character, whereas previously Khan and Cotton are more side characters and more recurring characters. So it makes a lot of sense that he's going to have a big prominent role in this big reveal sneak peek. Okay, so that is all of the casting stuff we've got. Now I want to talk about these storyboards. Now this is full spoiler territory because these storyboards are 100% real. If they're not real, it's the best hoax and fake I've ever seen in my life. It would actually be incredible, but these are definitely real. So we got 3 scenes from these storyboards. I'm not going to show them because I'm pretty sure this video would get taken down if I did actually show them, but I will be describing them. If you really want to see them, you can find them. Go out and search for them, Google them, you'll find them. They're pretty exciting. So let's talk about the first scene, which has so many lore bombs. I imagine this has got to be from the first episode back. The first scene takes place in Bobby's room in the Hill household, and Bobby and Connie are in bed hooking up, and Hank catches them. So this, off the bat, answers a lot of different things. For one, Bobby confirms that Connie and he are dating. So that's a big deal. They weren't even dating by the end of the original run of the show, so they are dating again. But it also confirms that Connie is home from college. So if they are dating, it seems to be somewhat of a long distance thing. I'm really curious where Connie's going to college. Is she going to college in Texas, or is she just home for the summer and she actually is going to school somewhere else? I expected her to be going to a really nice college because of how smart she is and how driven she is. So I'm pretty eager to see where this leads for these characters, because I have a feeling that a lot of it is going to be about the struggles that Bobby and Connie have in maintaining this relationship long distance while they're both in completely different times of their life. We've gotten confirmation that Bobby is the chef at a restaurant, Connie's still in school. They're in completely different places, and it's going to be hard for them to maintain, I think, this kind of relationship. There's a very funny bit in this scene where the Hills have this shitty new little dog who yaps and is super annoying, the kind of dog you would expect Hank to hate. And you get the sense that Hank does hate him, but even within the scene, this dog keeps barking at Connie and then at Min, who comes up to the window, and Hank realizes that this dog is actually a pretty good guard dog. So this is just like a microcosm of the Hank Hill thing, like the most important thing about Hank Hill, which is where he has an opinion of a thing based on his worldview, and then some kind of underlying integrity stems from it that makes him say, oh, actually, maybe you're not so bad. And he kind of appreciates the dog for being a good guard dog. It's really funny. Min and Con show up at the window. This is all incredibly awkward, obviously, as Bobby and Connie have just been caught hooking up. And so there's a lot of stuff we learn here. For one, Bobby offers to pay for dinner, to take them all out for dinner, which I think probably hints that he is making pretty good money in his new job and that he's like willing to throw money around in order to try and make things right with his wannabe in-laws and his parents. So I think Bobby's probably making pretty good money as a chef. Then also we get the reveal that Min and Con have split up. This is affecting Connie deeply. Connie doesn't like how Min is constantly just complaining about Bobby or Con. And it also is revealed that Con is living with Bill, which is such an incredibly funny development. I cannot wait to see what kinds of stories stem from this. I'm curious if the episode Conscious Uncoupling is actually not going to be about Min and Con splitting up, but is actually going to be about Con having to leave Bill's house and like go out and live his own life finally. That should be really interesting as the two divorced characters in the neighborhood living together. So these are the big reveals in this first scene. And obviously everyone is older. Bobby and Connie are 21. Everyone's character models look a little older. The storyboards are in black and white, so we don't know like hair colors and stuff yet, but it looks awesome. It's very funny. The characters feel like the characters we remember. It's honestly really reaffirming and it's really giving me a lot of confidence, which we'll talk more about later because we got to talk about these other scenes as well. The second scene we get is Peggy at a hospital. There's a very funny visual bit. She is on crutches with a bum knee and she is trying to make it to an elevator and have them hold the elevator. And they do this great thing where the image starts getting closer and closer as she gets closer to the elevator, and like it's just a really funny image of Peggy. The crazy thing about the scene is about her trying to convince the doctor that she's going to be fine to do her MRI and actually get her MRI done. Unfortunately, she starts to have a panic attack in the elevator, and then, crazy enough, she says the line, "Back the up," while she's panicking. So they drop an F-bomb. This is a huge change, obviously. The original show did not say and it never ever did. I'll be really curious to see where and how often they are actually doing this in the show, if this is going to be a common thing or if it's just going to be occasional. I actually think Peggy is the exact person who in this circumstance would have dropped an F-bomb like this, so I'm not very surprised by it. Peggy is someone who has kind of a quick temper, and she's having a literal panic attack and like hyperventilating, and she's in a tiny space. So I think her yelling "back the up" kind of fits, but it's really crazy. That's just like, that's definitely the biggest, most jarring thing from these storyboards is an F-bomb being dropped just kind of in the middle of it. And the last scene we get is Hank watching some kind of a sci-fi movie on TV. And I love this scene. This is once again kind of a perfect microcosm of like the Hank Hill formula, where Hank is sitting there arms crossed watching this sci-fi movie. and he's like very dismissive of it, but then he slowly starts to get into it as he watches. There's almost no dialogue in this entire thing, and it's just Hank getting really into the sci-fi thing, and by the end like kind of shedding a tear and being pretty invested in it. And then there's also a moment at the end where one of the characters holds up like a weapon, and this seems to give Hank an idea. I'm curious if this means Hank's going to go and build this kind of a weapon himself. This is such a funny cross section of Hank's interests where it's like, oh, he gets interested in this thing, and then is he going to go and use his wood shop skills to build it, like full on cosplay mode? That could be a really funny development. I'm also curious why he's watching this. Is this something that Bobby's into? Is this something that GH is into? I would really love to see Hank trying to connect with his younger brother a little bit more. I'm really hoping he ends up being a bigger character in the show. We'll find out. But I'm going to be honest, like these 3 scenes instilled such an unbelievable amount of confidence in me about this upcoming revival. I was a little concerned because you never know. After all this time, I know what I love about this show. I know what people love about this show. I still think the show is going to be divisive because just the nature of media in 2025 is that it's divisive and people are going to take exception to things. But the vibes of these scenes, the tone of these scenes, the characterizations in these scenes are so good. They are so funny. I am so unbelievably excited for the revival now. It kind of reaffirmed my confidence more than I ever expected it could have. I even went into reading the storyboards a little concernedly. I was like, oh God, if we're going to find out if this is good or not. And they are so funny. It is kind of crazy how much stuff has leaked without even a single piece of official information being dropped yet. We haven't gotten a trailer. We haven't even gotten an image officially released. It's crazy. So regardless, I'm very excited about what we've got so far. I'm really hoping that this ATX Festival panel at the end of the month, like, is when the floodgates open and we get a trailer and we get images and we get all of the cast and we get just an update on what's going on in the world of King of the Hill in Arlen with these characters, where they all are. I want to know all of the details, and I'm very excited to find out more. So let me know below in the comments what you think about these castings that we've learned about and about these storyboards in particular, because I think they're just so great, and I just want to know what other King of the Hill fans think about them. Leave a comment below, and we'll talk more King of the Hill as we go. Peace.
I stay mellow watching Johnny two cellos. He talks cartoons, he's a really cool fellow. He keeps you posted on adult cartoons. If that's what you're into, then grab a spoon and a very big bowl of your favorite cereal. Feels like Saturday morning cartoon material. Johnny two cellos, watch him on YouTube. Now enjoy this groove and bust a move.